Riley's hands moved before her heart could hesitate. The elderly woman sat alone by the window. Her eyes searched the hallway with quiet longing. "Good morning, Mrs. Hartwell," Riley signed gently. Mrs. Dorothy Hartwell's face transformed into pure wonder. Her wrinkled hands flew up, trembling with emotion. You know sign language?" Riley nodded, her smile soft and genuine. "I do. I wanted to say hello properly." Tears pooled in Dorothy's eyes as she signed back. "No one here ever speaks my language." Riley felt her chest tighten with understanding. She'd learned sign language years before her younger brother lost his hearing. Now, working at Riverside Care Center, she never imagined it would mean so much. "Well, I'm here now," she signed back, "and I'd love to hear your stories." Dorothy reached for Riley's hand, squeezing it tightly. The gratitude in her eyes spoke volumes beyond words. What Riley didn't know was that someone watched from the doorway. Nathan Hartwell stood frozen, his briefcase hanging loosely. His mother was laughing, actually laughing, for the first time in months. Nathan visited his mother every Tuesday and Thursday. Each visit broke his heart a little more. Dorothy had withdrawn into silence after his father passed. The hearing loss she'd lived with her whole life now felt like an insurmountable wall. He'd hired the best care facility money could buy. Private room, premium services, 24-hour medical attention. But none of it brought back her smile. Until today. "Mr. Hartwell," Riley looked up, startled, still holding Dorothy's hand. "I didn't realize anyone was here. I'm so sorry." Nathan shook his head slowly, his voice catching slightly. "Please, don't apologize. What you just did, I haven't seen her smile like that in months." Riley's cheeks flushed pink under his gaze. She quickly stood, smoothing her scrubs nervously. "Your mother is wonderful. She was just telling me about her garden back home." Dorothy signed something quickly to Riley. Riley laughed softly, then translated for Nathan. "She says you work too much and forget to eat lunch." Nathan couldn't help but smile. She's not wrong. The following weeks shifted something fundamental in Nathan's world. He found himself visiting more often, not just Tuesdays and Thursdays anymore, sometimes Mondays, sometimes Saturdays, always hoping to catch a glimpse of Riley. She never made her mother feel invisible. She asked about recipes, admired old photographs, sat patiently while Dorothy signed stories from her childhood in animated, sweeping gestures. One afternoon, Nathan arrived with flowers for his mother. Riley was braiding Dorothy's silver hair, both women giggling silently. "Your mother says your father used to bring her wildflowers. Never roses, always wildflowers from the hillside," Riley translated, her fingers moving gracefully. Nathan felt his throat tighten with emotion. I didn't know that. She never told me." Riley's expression softened with gentle understanding. Sometimes we save our softest memories for people who speak our language. Her words hit him harder than he knew. Nathan Hartwell was the CEO of Sterling Enterprises. He commanded boardrooms, negotiated million-dollar deals, made decisions that affected thousands of employees. But he couldn't communicate with his own mother. That realization haunted him every night afterward. He began taking sign language lessons in secret, online courses during lunch breaks, practice videos before bed. His assistant thought he'd lost his mind. "Sir, you have the quarterly meeting in 10 minutes, his assistant reminded him one morning. Nathan was watching a tutorial on emotional expressions. "Reschedule it," he said without looking up. Riley never expected to fall for Nathan Hartwell. He was brilliant, successful, impossibly kind to his mother, but he lived in a different world entirely. She was just a nurse with student loans and a tiny apartment. Yet, every time their eyes met across the room, something unspoken passed between them. One evening, as Riley finished her shift, Nathan waited by the entrance. Rain poured outside in heavy sheets. Can I give you a ride home?" he asked, his voice unusually hesitant. "Mr. Hartwell, you really don't have to. Nathan," he interrupted gently. "Please, just Nathan." The drive was quiet except for the rain, but the silence felt comfortable, almost intimate. "Why did you learn sign language?" Nathan asked finally. Riley gazed out the window at passing streetlights. "My brother, Cole. He lost his hearing when he was 12. Meningitis. I was 17. Her voice grew softer, thicker with old pain. "I watched him disappear into silence. People stopped trying to talk to him. They'd speak slower or louder, like that would help." Nathan pulled over, giving her his full attention. "So I learned," Riley continued, wiping her eyes, "because he deserved to be heard, not pitied, just heard." Nathan reached across the console hesitantly. His hand covered hers. "You're an extraordinary person, Riley." She looked at him then, really looked at him, and saw something beyond admiration in his eyes. Dorothy noticed the change in her son immediately. One Tuesday, Nathan walked in and signed, "Good morning, Mom." Dorothy's hands flew to her mouth in shock. You've been learning?" Nathan nodded, his own hands shaking with nervousness. "I should have done this years ago. I'm sorry it took me so long." Mother and son embraced, both crying freely now. Riley watched from the doorway, her own tears falling. She turned to leave, giving them privacy. "Riley, wait!" Nathan called out, speaking and signing simultaneously. "Please stay. This happened because of you." Dorothy signed something urgently to Nathan. He laughed, translating aloud for Riley. "She says she's known for 3 weeks that I've been falling in love with you." Riley's breath caught completely. "What?" Nathan stepped closer, his eyes vulnerable and honest. "My mother says I look at you the way my father looked at her, and she's not wrong." Riley's heart thundered in her chest so loudly. "Nathan, I'm just a nurse. You're the person who saw my mother when everyone else looked past her. You're the person who reminded me what truly matters. You're the person I think about every morning and every night." Dorothy signed something else, grinning mischievously. Nathan laughed, his ears turning red. "My mother says if I don't ask you to dinner soon, she'll do it herself." Riley laughed through her tears, her hands moving in response. She signed directly to Dorothy. "I'd be honored to have dinner with your son." Dorothy clapped her hands together, absolutely delighted. 6 months later, Riley stood in Dorothy's garden. The same garden Dorothy had described during their very first conversation. Nathan had surprised his mother by recreating it behind her new home, a place where she lived with them now. Wild flowers swayed in the gentle evening breeze. Nathan approached Riley from behind, wrapping his arms around her. "What are you thinking about?" he signed against her shoulder. Riley leaned back into his warmth, peaceful and complete. "I'm thinking about how one small gesture of kindness changed everything." Dorothy appeared on the porch, waving them inside for dinner. Her smile was radiant, her eyes sparkling with life. Riley took Nathan's hand as they walked together. She thought back to that first morning by the window, when a lonely woman sat in silence, and a shy nurse simply said, "Hello." Now, that hello had blossomed into love, into family, into belonging. Because sometimes the most powerful words we speak are the ones formed not with our voices, but with our hearts and hands. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, subscribe, and comment.